The galaxy was abuzz with unease as the Galactic Council convened, its towering halls filled with representatives from hundreds of species. The air shimmered with tension as holographic projections displayed the reason for the emergency meeting. A newly classified threat, known as Class Omega. No one spoke until the leader of the assembly, a serpentine Zin diplomat with iridescent scales, raised a clawed hand to silence the murmurs. The discovery of this substance, the Zin began, their voice sharp and mechanical through a translator, poses a danger beyond any we have faced. More volatile than antimatter, impervious to known containment methods, and capable of destabilizing the most advanced technologies. Its origin. A backwater species recently admitted to this council. Humans. The room erupted into chaos. Some species hissed and clicked in disbelief, while others pounded appendages against their seats in protest. Humans, a species barely advanced enough to be tolerated in galactic affairs, had created something that defied understanding. A crimson-skinned Ogryn slammed one of their many fists on the table. We allowed them entry to this council only 50 cycles ago. Now they bring a weapon that could annihilate us all. Weapon is speculative, interjected a sleek, crystalline envoy from the Talreth. The data suggests the substance's properties are erratic. It is not yet confirmed as a deliberate creation. The Zin narrowed their gleaming eyes. Regardless, this potentialium, as the humans call it, exists. And it exists because of them. We must decide our course of action before this substance spreads uncontrollably. While alien representatives bickered, the data streams displayed on the central monitors painted a grim picture. Potentialium was unlike anything the galaxy had ever encountered. It thrived on entropy, growing more potent under conditions that would destroy other materials. Attempts to neutralize it had led to catastrophic chain reactions. And yet, in human hands it appeared contained, controlled even. A reptilian ambassador leaned forward, their frilled neck puffing with suspicion. This reeks of subterfuge. The humans are primitive compared to us. How could they harness something so dangerous unless they intended to weaponize it? A holographic image of Earth appeared, rotating slowly above the council floor. It was labeled with a warning. Potentialium source detected. Another voice, softer and colder, broke through the din. We cannot ignore the possibility that humans have unlocked knowledge that could destabilize galactic order. I propose immediate intervention. Secure their planet and confiscate the substance before it is too late. But not all agreed. A delegation from the Zarenth, a species known for their impartiality, spoke cautiously. This may be an opportunity. If humans have truly mastered this, we must learn how. Condemnation without investigation risks alienating them further. If they are as volatile as their creation, we would not want them as enemies. The Zin leader glanced at the gathered species and spoke with finality. A delegation will be sent to Earth. We will determine the true nature of Potentialium and humanity's intentions. Until then, the humans must know they are under scrutiny. If they cannot justify their possession of this substance, we will not hesitate to act. The council room dimmed, leaving only the rotating image of Earth. For a moment, silence hung heavy over the assembly. Then the Zin added, almost as an afterthought, "Pray they do not resist." The delegation's first impression of Earth was far from what they had expected. Ambassador Vrex, a stoic Xanthi with gleaming carapace-like armor, observed the bustling cities with thinly veiled skepticism. Instead of the chaotic barbarism the council had described, there was an order to the chaos, a rhythm to the overlapping systems of traffic, communication, and construction. Humanity, it seemed, thrived in environments that would overwhelm most advanced species. As they were escorted into a research facility, Vrex's compound eyes flickered over the details. Walls scuffed but solid, technology advanced but haphazardly constructed. The humans greeted them warmly, though Vrex noted the sharpness in their smiles. Despite their apparent openness, the humans carried an undercurrent of caution, as if they knew the delegation's true purpose. Inside, the lead scientist, Dr. Elena Ruiz, gestured toward a containment unit filled with a faintly glowing substance. "This," she began, "is potentialium. You've heard the rumors, but let me show you the reality." The aliens leaned forward as Ruiz activated the containment field. The potentialium inside writhed like liquid light, its glow shifting with intensity. "It's not just energy," she explained. "It's a catalyst. It reacts to intent, effort, and pressure. The more we push it, the more it responds. It's alive in a way, but not sentient. Think of it as potential in its purest form." Rex tilted his head, his translator emitting a low hum. "How did your kind discover such a thing? This is not within the capabilities we associate with humanity." Ruiz hesitated for a moment, then smiled. "By accident, like most of our greatest discoveries." She pulled up a holographic simulation, showing Earth's desperate history of resource depletion and survival. "We were running out of options. Fossil fuels, fusion, even antimatter. We had to think differently. While experimenting with quantum resonance fields, we found this." The aliens watched as the simulation depicted the initial chaos of the discovery: explosions, failed experiments, and near-catastrophic collapses. And yet, humanity had persisted, refining the process, learning from their mistakes. "What you see as a threat," Ruiz continued, "we see as a lifeline. Potentialium powers our cities, heals our sick, and even forms the backbone of new technologies. It's dangerous, yes, but only if mishandled." Ambassador Vrex's voice was sharp. "And yet you chose to continue developing it, knowing the risks it posed to your planet. And now the galaxy." Ruiz met his gaze without flinching. "Because that's what we do. We face the impossible and find a way through. Potentialium is no different. It reflects us. The more pressure we face, the stronger we become." The room fell silent as the aliens absorbed her words. One of the delegation, a bioluminescent Talreth, flickered with nervous energy. "It is reckless. Your species plays with forces you cannot fully comprehend." Ruiz raised an eyebrow. "Perhaps. But isn't that what exploration is? Understanding comes later. First you have to take the leap." Vrex remained impassive, but something in his demeanor shifted. This species, so fragile and young by galactic standards, displayed an audacity that bordered on madness. Yet there was a logic to it, a survival instinct honed by generations of adversity. As the demonstration ended, Vrex turned to Ruiz. "Your species is unpredictable, and this substance mirrors that unpredictability. The Council will not accept your explanation so easily." Ruiz smiled faintly. "They don't have to accept it. They just have to understand we're not giving it up." The Galactic Council's ultimatum came swiftly and without compromise. Humanity was to cease all production of potentialium, hand over their reserves, and submit to ongoing surveillance. Failure to comply, they warned, would be interpreted as a declaration of hostility. Earth's leaders convened in an emergency session, their discussions tinged with frustration and defiance. President Marcus Evers stood before his cabinet, his expression grim. "They want us to surrender the one thing that's kept us alive, the one thing that gives us a seat at their table. What they don't understand is that giving it up would destroy us." The decision was unanimous. Humanity would refuse. An official statement was transmitted to the Council, its tone measured but resolute. Potentialium was not a weapon, and its possession was non-negotiable. The response was predictably hostile. Several Council members advocated for immediate action, but others argued for restraint. Among them was Ambassador Vrex, who urged caution. Humanity is not reckless. They believe they have control over this substance. We must investigate further before forcing their hand. But restraint was not universal. A rogue faction, led by the militant Skaith, saw humanity's defiance as a direct challenge. Without waiting for Council approval, they launched a covert operation to seize Earth's potentialium stores. The attack came under the cover of darkness, targeting a research facility in the Pacific Rim. The Skaith used advanced cloaking technology to infiltrate the compound, but they underestimated both humanity's preparedness and the volatility of potentialium itself. When the alarms blared, Earth's response was immediate. Security forces engaged the intruders, but the real danger came when one of the Skaith operatives attempted to extract raw potentialium from its containment unit. The substance, sensitive to instability, began to react violently. Dr. Ruiz, present during the attack, shouted a warning as the containment field faltered. If it destabilizes, the chain reaction will spread across the region. Ignoring protocol, she and her team rushed to stabilize the reaction, even as explosions rocked the facility. The Skaith, realizing their mistake, attempted to retreat, but it was too late. The humans managed to regain control of the potentialium just seconds before critical mass. The room fell silent except for the hum of the containment field reactivating. In the aftermath, the Skaith operatives were detained, and humanity's swift action prevented a disaster that could have had galactic consequences. The Council, forced to acknowledge the incident, convened once more. This time it was humanity that demanded answers. President Evers addressed the Assembly directly via hologram. Your operatives acted without authorization, jeopardizing billions of lives. Not just ours but yours as well. We contained the situation because we understand the risks. This wasn't just an attack on us. It was an attack on the very principles you claim to uphold. The room was silent. Even the most vocal critics of humanity found themselves at a loss. Ambassador Vrex finally spoke. His voice calm but firm. It is clear that humanity possesses a deeper understanding of potentialium than we assumed. Their ability to prevent catastrophe speaks volumes about their control and their resilience. Evers nodded. Potentialium isn't just a resource. It's a part of who we are. You fear it because you don't understand it, just as you fear us for the same reason. But fear won't stop us from moving forward. The Council was left divided, their initial assumptions about humanity shaken. Potentialium had become more than a substance. It was a symbol of the unyielding determination that defined the human race. The Galactic Council reconvened in solemn silence. 4 days, they had deliberated the consequences of humanity's defiance, the rogue Skaith operation, and the near-catastrophic fallout. The incident had exposed not only humanity's resilience but also the fragility of galactic unity. Now they faced a choice that would shape the future of the galaxy. Ambassador Vrex addressed the Assembly. His voice was steady but carried a weight it hadn't before. We came to Earth believing humanity's discovery of potentialium was a threat. Reckless, dangerous, a mistake waiting to happen. What we witnessed instead was something none of us could have anticipated. They didn't just create a substance beyond our understanding. They mastered it in ways that even our most advanced civilizations have failed to replicate. He paused, letting his words sink in. Yes, it is dangerous. Yes, it has the potential to disrupt everything we know. But that is not a reason to destroy it, or them. Humanity has proven that they are not reckless. They are determined. And they have earned the right to chart their own path. There was dissent, of course. A hulking Ogryn delegate growled. So we reward defiance. They ignored our demands and nearly caused a disaster. Vrex turned to him, unflinching. The disaster was caused by fear. Fear from those who acted without understanding. If humanity had not intervened, your operatives' actions would have destroyed a significant portion of this galaxy. You speak of defiance, but I see survival. I see strength. The debate continued, voices rising and falling in contention. Meanwhile, Earth watched from afar. President Evers stood in his office, flanked by his advisors, awaiting the Council's decision. Outside the window, the sky was alive with a faint glow of orbital stations powered by potentialium, a reminder of how far humanity had come. Back in the Council chamber, a decision was finally reached. The Zin leader, who had initially proposed humanity's containment, addressed the Assembly. The Council recognizes the unique position humanity holds. Their development of potentialium marks a turning point. Not just for them but for all of us. While their methods may be unorthodox, their results cannot be ignored. Therefore, we propose a partnership. Humanity will retain control of Potentialium under strict monitoring, and the Council will work with them to study its properties further. The resolution was met with mixed reactions, but it passed. Humanity would not be subjugated, nor would their discovery be taken from them. Instead, they were given a chance to lead, cautiously under scrutiny but on their own terms. As the decision was relayed to Earth, Dr. Ruiz sat with her team, reflecting on the whirlwind of events. "Do you think they'll ever trust us?" one of her colleagues asked. Ruiz smiled faintly, her eyes on the faintly glowing container of Potentialium. "Trust takes time. But they'll learn just like we did." Ambassador Vrex, preparing to leave Earth, stood on a hill overlooking one of humanity's sprawling cities. The skyline was a patchwork of old architecture and cutting-edge advancements, a testament to their adaptability. For the first time, he allowed himself a moment of admiration. In his report to the Council, he wrote, "Humanity is not like other species. They are not defined by tradition or limits but by their capacity to adapt, to endure, and to thrive under pressure. If Potentialium is dangerous, it is only because it reflects the very nature of its creators. And perhaps that is what makes it, and them, the most valuable resource in this galaxy."